Hi Leo, and welcome to your Spirit Guide messages for May 2019. I'm going to start by pulling a few cards to see what your Spirit Guides would like you to focus on the most in the month of May. So let's see what comes out, Leo. All right, so we have communication. We have, a retrograde, unfinished energies return. So this is some talks that need to take place, Leo. And lastly, deeply held beliefs. Okay, so here, these are conversations that may have happened in the past where we tried to talk about something, we tried to find some common ground, some resolution, and it just didn't happen, or we haven't discussed this period at all, end of story. But what's holding us back from opening up and expressing, or what's prevented understanding in the past, is the beliefs that either exist within you or within the person that you are trying to get things resolved, communicate with. This could be in any area of your life, with a family member, with a friend, with a child, with a coworker, with a boss, with a romantic partner, just anywhere in your life where there's things left unsaid, things that have got to be talked about. If we've been sweeping it under the rug, we can't do that anymore. These are words left in our heart unspoken. It's like it's haunting us to express them outwardly. So whether we are having these conversations or not in the month of May, they're very much on your mind and your heart, Leo. So let's pull some more and get more information. Okay, so we have the Fool, the Seven of Cups, the Page of Wands, the Death, and the Nine of Swords. Okay, so Leo, there's a lot of nervousness and hesitation around these conversations. Either with the Death showing up here, either we're afraid of what we have to say is going to really cause harm to a person or to a situation, which will either end the relationship with you or make you have to completely disconnect from a situation altogether. There's a lot of worry, deeply held beliefs. There's a lot of worry around this. Like, whatever needs to be said is, I don't want to say it, or I'm afraid of the outcome. And it may not be that it's as dire or scary as you might be feeling because of deeply held beliefs. Or, on the opposite end of that, it could be that, maybe you've recognized that the situation or person you're dealing with, it's their beliefs are too deeply rooted and there's no breaking past that barrier. And the only resolution is maybe to end something. It doesn't have to be to end the relationship itself, but there's something here that must end. It's like a transition, a transformation, and a lot of worry and concern about it. But I don't think it's as scary or doom and gloom as you might perceive, okay? We've thought about this quite a bit, and we really do want this new beginning to either in this situation or this relationship, or we want to be done with whatever that is altogether, and we want some sort of new beginning for ourselves in our life. So let's pull some more tarot, Leo. I do see conversation though, okay? So some Leos, this isn't where we're just thinking about it or worrying about it anymore. It's like we're finally having these conversations. And you know what? If you're like, lady, I don't even know what you're talking about. There's nothing left unsaid inside of me. Well, Leo, there could be somebody in your life, either, you know, in the daily or somebody you don't talk to anymore that has a lot to say to you. All right, so let's see what else comes out. Okay, Four of Lessons. So I'm going to say, most likely are not in communication with this person at this time, if it's a person, or this is where, man, we have been thinking about this for a very, very long time, and maybe we just kind of pushed it to the back burner, and now whatever's going on in May, it brings it back forward, and there's like no getting around it. There's no escaping it. I've got to make this decision now. I've got to express myself now. I've got to say what I know right now. Next out is the energy worker. So this is very positive, Leo. Whatever needs to be said. And this doesn't just have to be like in a relationship, or this could be much bigger or deeper where, you know, there's just things that you know and you're scared of what you know. Maybe like you have to testify or something along those lines. But with this coming out, you're very protected, Leo. Trust in the process, trust in the path, speak your truth, don't hold back, okay? Very effective as well, very powerful energy. Like the ball's in your court, especially if this is somebody expressing to you, the ball is definitely in your court. And now we have the Eternals coming out. So this involves a lot of emotional energy, which with this particular card, Leo, whatever needs to be expressed, it's not easy. This is truly matters of the heart, all right? In a standard tarot deck, that would be the Lovers. So some of you, this could definitely be something to do with some sort of romantic situation. Next out, we have the Five of Lessons, and this comes out under death. So Leo, with this particular card, it's like red flags were ignored and overlooked, maybe because, you know, and I am famous for this, when I am very much attached to somebody emotionally, it's not like anything ever really gets past me. It's that I'm just excuse it away, or think that I'm just being dramatic or oversensitive or just whatever, you know, or somehow make excuses for that person because of my emotional attachment. Whereas if I had no emotional attachment, I would not like be so voluntarily blind. And that's kind of what's going on with this particular card, where somebody may have manipulated you or manipulated a situation, and you were feeling that and you knew that all along, but for whatever reason, maybe your beliefs about that person, that situation, and the significance and importance of it in your life just had you overlooking, ignoring red flags. I get this big sense, and I've been saying this throughout the whole reading, it's like sweeping things under the rug, and it's like the time has come, it can't be anymore. It has to come out. It needs to be cleansed and cleared from your life. And now with the Eight of Manifestations, there is a big element of lesson and understanding that is coming through with this experience and this conversation. And I just don't go with preconceived notions you have about a person or a situation. And, you know, even if they've just always been difficult to deal with in the past, don't go in with that kind of thinking. Like, don't have that type of worry, because this is just like this barrier that you or this other person cannot push through, and it causes a lot of concern and worry. But at the end of the day, the truth is the truth. The way you feel is the way you feel. What's right and what's wrong is what's right and what's wrong. And when you are trying to go against your own soul to appease and accommodate somebody else, or contain somebody else's secrets within you, it's too much. Eventually it will get the best of you, okay? And with the Four of Lessons coming out, Leo, I don't feel like this is like a new thing that's just showing up in your world. This is something that has been ongoing for some time, or it was ongoing in the past. You pushed it under the rug, and now retrograde, here comes the energy returning back to you because it must be resolved. With the Fool there and with the Death card, there's a new beginning. There's a new opportunity, a new path, a better way for you than just the way you've been going at this. You're trying to accommodate somebody else, or really worried about the preservation of a situation, of yourself, of a reputation, something along those lines. And at this point, I just don't think you can hold back. It's like you have got to speak the words of your soul, of your heart, what you know, something. Man, very, very strong. But you don't, it's not like it's coming out foolishly or some emotional expression. There's been a lot of thought that has gone into it, and a lot of life experience, and just all these different things kind of tie into it. And when you express yourself, it just, you're going to say what you need to say, all right? And you've been thinking about it like for a very long time, like, how do I do this? So let's pull some clarification. And Leo, again, if this isn't you, this is somebody around you, and this is how they're feeling about something that went undone. They didn't say, they did wrong. There could be a lot of remorse in all of this as well, just depending. All right, so before time, deja vu. Wow. So that's coming out under this Four of Lessons. And before time, there's an element of destiny. And what I mean by that is, you know, I believe before we incarnate, we have a tentative structure of lessons and experiences that we intend to have during this life journey. And there are multiple destinies that we have the potential for, but it's the one we reach for the most, the one we align our energy to, is the one that's going to come true for us, okay? And so with this here, this person, this situation, whatever this is, Leo, this is definitely a part of your life journey. And with deja vu, man, and deeply held beliefs, what's held you back, it's like you just have this sense of, I just already know how this is going to go, and I don't want to deal with how this is going to go. But listen, once you will get over the hardest part. Once it happens, it's over. You start moving on. I just feel like whatever this is, you cannot ignore it. It can't not be said. It can't not be talked about. Like, something's happened here, and as much as we've wanted to just wish it away or not deal with it, no more. It's just time. Harvest. And as I say that, yeah, it's time for this conversation, or for things to come out into the light. Intuition here. So Leo, with that coming out, your intuition has already told you, okay? You've got deja vu and now intuition. So I get why you're hesitant, but again, I don't feel this is something where we could just not pay attention anymore. It's like, it has to be said, or it has to be discussed, or something has to be brought out into the light, or whatever you know has to be shared for whatever reason. And even though we have a lot of nervousness and anxiety around it, at the same time, there's this like wonderful payoff of a new beginning, a new opportunity, fresh start, letting a lot of heavy energy go. And now look at this, destiny coming out. And I was just talking about your destiny. So yeah, Leo, don't be afraid. Whatever this is definitely a destiny you had a high potential for. Like, outside of this situation, this must be like released, transformed. You've got to move on from it. You've got to say what you got to say, because look at this. Here's a portal, and butterflies are all about transformation, and the portal is that new beginning that I'm talking about, that fresh start, clean slate. Just coming clean is what I feel. Either you, Leo, are like, you know what, I'm coming clean, or somebody in your life is like, I'm coming clean, or it's like, I've just got to tell you all these things, or this is what I know about this situation or about this person. You know, it's all about communication, but this isn't something brand new. This is something that's been in your energy field for quite some time, and it's part of your life journey. It's part of a destiny that you're reaching for, and you're having, you know, this breakthrough, stepping through this passage, this portal into a different, it feels like more than just like a new job or a new relationship, or it's like a whole new way of experiencing and perceiving life in general. Different situations definitely shape us in different ways and have us come into different awarenesses. And I'll share something really personal with you about what I'm trying to say. So my daughter was pregnant, and you know, she's having a baby, and we're really excited. And the day that we are supposed to find out the gender of the baby, we actually find out the baby no longer has a heartbeat, and has not had a heartbeat for at least 2 weeks based upon measurements. And that was a pretty intense day, a pretty intense moment, more so for my daughter than anybody else, obviously. And I've just now actually gotten to a place, like I've tried to share this before, but I just turned into like a crying mess. And the worst part about it was I actually had this dream that she miscarried her baby 2 weeks prior, right around the time the baby truly did pass. And her body just held the baby. It didn't expel the baby. So she, in her mind, even though she noticed there was changes, she's like, well, I wasn't cramping, there was no bleeding, so I didn't think anything was wrong, or I wanted to tell myself nothing was wrong, even though I had a feeling inside. And same thing about my dream. I just did not like it. But again, you know, she didn't miscarry, so I was like, you know, it's probably just a symbolism dream. And normally a dream like that I wouldn't even pay attention to, but it just was so intense inside of me. And after that experience and going through the process of healing, and now that, you know, my daughter is good, the procedures that have to take place after that, you know, in a situation like that, it's pretty horrific for any mother. It's one thing to find out, you know, you no longer are going to be having a baby, but just what you have to go through. Oh, it's intense, and she is good now, so I feel much, much better. And from that experience, definitely humbled, and Spirit led me to some old pictures of just different points in my life, and when I was looking at them, I just feel different. I don't know how to put it in words, and just feeling life in general, and understanding, you know, that how precious life is, you know. There's just, I wish I could articulate this better, but I can't. So some situations that are incredibly painful do have the power to transform in a positive way. And you know, my daughter was in a really rough place about this for several weeks, you know, but now she is moving into a really good place mentally and emotionally. And it's like, you know what, Mom, maybe I wasn't ready for that. I have these different plans and different goals, and, you know, losing the fear around getting pregnant and miscarrying, and having the bad dreams. Like, she's moving beyond all of that, and it was a conscious choice within, because it really got her, you know. But she's doing good now, and even she has a new perception of life and the value of it. And it's not to say that what happened didn't traumatize her and really hurt her dearly, but you know, she is facing it head on, and now it has changed her in a very positive way, even though it was a tragedy to begin with. And Leo, that's kind of what I see, where whatever this conversation is, whatever we have to tell, whatever we have to express, you know, we're afraid of the trauma, the pain, the fear, the heartache that comes with the expression of. However, you know, once it happens and it's said, and then you move on and healing happens and better things are to come. And I see that here for you, okay? It's not to discount any loss, you know, what we go through in life. It's not to make little of any of that. It's just whether it's something that really gets you and hurts you, or it's something that takes you all the way up to the heavens because it's so amazing. They're all parts of your journey. And whatever you've been going through is part of your journey, growing you and shaping you. And now it's time for the expression of that journey, whether it's in a situation, an expression person to person, sharing what you know, or somebody now coming to you, Leo, and expressing all of this. That's just like the main thing for May is communication and expression, sharing. And this isn't just some nonsense. This is like deep from the soul, and through it, it's very transformational, and it's like a release of the heartache, a release of the pain, a release of the worry and the fear. So let's see for outcome and advice. All right, so haunted thoughts. I'm not surprised by this just because we've already pretty much addressed the fact of a lot of worry about, you know, communication and conversation and things that need to be expressed, or basically just fear of what you know about somebody or something or situation. You know, this could be for some of you where maybe you're friends with a couple equally, like you love them both equally, and you know one of them is doing no good. I mean, and it can't, and maybe it's coming straight out. Hey, have you known this whole time, Leo? And you could be like, well, yeah, but I didn't want to tell you. I didn't want to hurt you. Like, it could be a conversation like that as well, okay? It's just different. This is a general reading, so it's truly different for all of you. Oh, goodness. And look at this message. Not surprised to see that. Yeah, Leo, whatever is on your mind or your heart, your soul, do not be afraid. Do not hold back, because, again, things that are painful and hurt us are the things that have the power to truly transform us and change us from the inside out, which is kind of what I see going on for you here. And the further you get away from something, the less and less and less it hurts. If that's what you're reaching for and that's what you're striving for, it gets better, it gets easier. Doesn't erase it, doesn't make little of it, but it gets better and it gets easier day by day when that's what you're reaching for. And whatever this is for you, you know what to do. And I think you have an idea of what the outcome's going to be, and that's what you're afraid of. But Leo, it's all about your destiny, and I promise you there's really good things ahead, okay? It's time. So those are your messages, Leo. I'm wishing you all the best. Take care.